get going in just a minute here. See if we got a few more people coming in, and then obviously this will be recorded and up on the website for anyone to view afterwards. All right, so it's a little bit past 6 o'clock. We have the spring sports parent information, StreamYard live stream here. And first off, we just have our normal, this will be a quick meeting. It's really just a review of kind of all our current protocols and little intro for spring sports that are going to be getting started on Tuesday, April 27th. That's the day after the professional day, the day that our students return from the April vacation. So if you're not following us on Facebook or Twitter, there is right there for you, MHS Athletics on Facebook, at Middleborough AD on Twitter. And then there'll be more information on our newsletters, which will be coming out later this week. The April newsletter is a little late as we're trying to gather all the information we need for spring sports. And then our athletics website, middleborough.k12.ma.us/athletics, has all the information you need as well. Just a review of our administrative structure with our support from our superintendent, Mr. Brian Lynch, our principal, Mr. Paul Brannigan, our Nichols Middle School principal, Mrs. Heidi Latender, and then myself as the athletic director, Ryan Sylvia, and athletic trainer and assistant athletic director, Miss Mary Farley. Registration has been open all year because of due to the pandemic and the fact that we've had some off-season activities going on. Spring sports registration has been open all year, but make sure you get that registration done before the first day on April 27th, and ideally well before that, so you can make sure that you have your physical uploaded to Family ID or submitted through email to the school nurse, myself, or our athletic trainer. But ideally, it's uploaded to your Family ID profile. And then your baseline impact test, that has to be done for all student athletes within 2 years. Our athletic trainer, Mary Farley, will email any students that need that impact test prior to starting, but we need to get the registration so we know whether or not they need it first, obviously, if they're registered for the sport. And it's mostly freshmen and juniors, and at this point in the year, it's really anybody who is a freshman or a junior that has not participated in athletics this year that would need that impact test. And then the last piece is the user fee, which I'll get to in a minute. That can be paid by bank check or money order, or through Unibank online payment, and that is due on Monday, May 3rd. And so that's the user fee date, due May 3rd. Individuals are $175. The individual cap is $350. So any individual student that participates in 2 sports or has already participated in 2 sports, they do not owe for this spring season. And then the family cap of $450. Obviously, multiple students in the same house in the same family would not pay more than $450 total. So in that case, if you've already reached $350 with 2 sports, multiple students, you would only owe $100. There's some important dates coming up. Obviously, the first day on the 27th. Many other schools are starting on the 26th. That's the first allowable day, the Monday after April vacation, due to our building project and the switch with the professional days. So we are going to start 1 day later on the 27th. Individual teams will hold virtual or outdoor parent meetings, and in most cases, that's going to be once the teams are set. So everyone should expect to start on the 27th, and then just make sure you're getting the information. You're on the email list from your coach, your child's coach, to make sure that you're getting the information on the parent meetings, the individual team parent meetings. And then Monday, May 3rd, that's when the user fees are due. We already talked about that. Thursday, May 6th is the first allowable game date for spring sports. The practice schedules for the first week are in the athletics newsletter that's going out this week, but make sure also you're getting communication from your son or daughter's coach as far as what the individual team schedules are going to look like. Points of emphasis, COVID-19. We've been dealing with this for 3 seasons now, and we have to continue to be vigilant with all of the protocols. So making sure that we have face coverings at all of our athletic events and within our teams. We're cleaning and disinfecting equipment after each use. Hand hygiene and hand sanitizer is available on all the teams. If students have their own, they should definitely be bringing that with them. Physical distancing whenever possible, other than when we're actually participating in game play. And then everybody has to bring their personal water bottle. That's important, very important. We're not supplying, water jugs or shared bottles or anything like that. So make sure you have your own personal water and that's getting filled. Spectator policy, I'll review in a bit, but we will be allowing spectators for our home events. And then transportation, we are back to 2 students per seat on the buses. So our and all of our transportation is going to be provided by the school, as it has been in the past. 2 are away and contests. Transportation for remote students to school and to practices or home games. That's going to have. We will not be providing that type of transportation, and that's been the protocol all year. And then sport rule modifications. Individual coaches will go over those modifications with their teams and parents at their meetings, and obviously as they're coaching and preparing for each day. If you haven't signed up for schedule notifications, you can do that on the MIA or on the app, and it's available as well through the Middleborough Athletics website. Practice schedules, like we said, are going to be distributed by individual team coaches, but students should expect to practice or play 5 to 6 times per week. Especially at the varsity level, we're looking at really 1 day off a week. The rest of the time is going to be practices or games. And all of our coaches' contact information, our head coaches' contact information of each program is listed on the Middleborough Athletics website. It just says contact a coach, and they are all listed there. So with the sport that they are the coach of. So even if your son or daughter is on freshman or JV, reach out to the varsity coach. A lot of times they are the ones, or most times they are the ones doing the communication with the program, but they can also pass any questions or information that you need from a sub-varsity coach, freshman or JV, onto you as the parent. And then sites for practices. Students should come prepared to play for the spring season on the 27th, on that day back at school. If they're remote, all of the same protocols apply. Make sure that you're just showing up with your gym bag with everything you need ready to go for practice at the location that your practice is at. So baseball at all levels is going to meet at the MHS fields, right out back, the new fields here. Track will be on the track or in the gym potentially, depending on weather. Tennis, Camp Avoda, which will be providing transportation through the white bus to Camp Avoda over on Tispiquin Street in South Middleborough. And then lacrosse will be out on the turf with a staggered schedule from track, and the boys and girls staggering who's going late and who's going earlier. As of now, the girls have the early time slot, the boys have the late time slot. Unified track and field will be Wednesdays on the track and in the gym. Wrestling will be in the MHS gym, and cheer will be in the M.I.H.G gym as of now. We will be bringing those mats over to the high school gym when it is appropriate. And then Nichols Middle School baseball and softball, which have both already started, are obviously going to be at the Nichols Middle School fields right out back. Injuries and athletic training. Same slide we've gone over every year. Injury prevention, strength and conditioning is a focus. And really, it's going to be a primary focus once we get into the new building with the new strength and conditioning facility that we have. Taking care of your body from a nutritional standpoint can help prevent injury, obviously making sure we're hydrated to prevent cramping and things like that. Diagnosis and treatment. Make sure you consult the coach and the athletic trainer. We have coverage at every game and practice. Our coaches are all first aid, CPR, and AED certified, and our athletic trainer many times can diagnose and treat injuries without needing to go to the urgent care. And that in many ways can get you back on the field quicker than having an automatic 2 weeks off based on whatever the doctor's recommendation is. So if it's not, if the diagnosis is they don't feel they need to be taken to the doctor, then sometimes that keeps them in the game a little bit longer. The COVID-19 return to play, very similar to our concussion return to play, but it's at the discretion of your personal care physician. Or your primary care physician or pediatrician. If a student does happen to test positive for COVID, there'll be various protocols that are going to need to be followed as far as school quarantining, team quarantining. But when we're talking about return to play, we do need a clearance from the doctor, and many times it's going to be a 5 to 7 day return to play. So we're gradually increasing physical activity and making sure that the symptoms don't come back. Very similar to concussion protocol. If a student sustains a concussion, then there is specific protocol. They do need clearance from their primary care physician before returning, and then it is a gradual return to play based on that. One of the biggest changes this year has been the limit on the number of students in the athletic training room. The new athletic training room is a very nice space, but it is a small space. So we're really only going to be allowed 2 to 3 student athletes in that room at a time. And there will be a sign-in and protocols to follow that'll be communicated from the athletic trainer when we get to that point. We always like to mention priorities of a student athlete. Health and family is number 1. Those are excused absences if they have obviously doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, and any kind of family emergencies. Academics, also excused absence. Daily attendance in school and remote learning is a must. It is required. Any student who's not able to attend school for some reason, whether it be in person or remote, is not allowed to attend practices or games. So that's a really important piece. And then team. Commitment to the team is really the next priority. So we expect students to work around the practice schedule when it comes to work schedules, family vacations, non-essential kind of emergency type things. The team commitment really needs to be the next on the priority list after health and family and academics. Going back to the spectators, the protocols for spectators have not changed from the Fall 2 season, which is 2 parent or guardians allowed for home events, and the host school will determine how many spectators will be permitted for away events. So, in other words, when we're hosting the game, we will have 2 spectators per participant. When we go away to another school for an outdoor event, they will let us know what is allowable at their site. In most cases, it has been the same as ours, which is 2 spectators per participant. There will be some sort of sign-in. It could, I know some schools require a electronic sign-in or, a survey or questionnaire that needs to be taken through your phone. Others, it's just a sign-in like we do. Masks are going to be required. And then same thing with the indoor events. 2 parents or guardians are allowed for home events. And really, we're just talking about wrestling in the spring or potentially cheer, and no visiting spectators. So if there was an indoor event at another school, we would not be allowed to send spectators at this time. And now a plug for our Middleborough All Sports Boosters Association, MASBA. We have some important fundraisers coming up. Our president, Jolie Butler, Darren Morano, Vice President, Secretary Karen Enos, Treasurer Lisa Foley, and our school representative, Sean Siciliano. All volunteers that meet on a regular basis and really a weekly basis at this point as we prepare for our golf tournament. We provide funding for the athletic program to help keep our user fees down, one of the lowest in the area at $175, and supplement additional coaching positions, uniforms, athletic equipment, audio-visual equipment, field maintenance items, and really anything that our coaches need. They help supplement that athletics budget and keep the user fees low. So we have the golf tournament coming up. That is going to be, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead of our MASBA spring raffle. The big spring fundraiser, we're trying to get back into fundraising now. We took a little time off in the winter given the circumstances with the pandemic. We have a Saturday kickoff on May 8th when all of the teams get going. They'll receive raffle tickets that they're going to sell at $20 each. They are being asked to sell 5 each, and then the drawing is 2 weeks later on Saturday, May 2nd. We have multiple prize winners, large Amazon gift cards to Hannaford's, and a number of other kind of really big ticket prizes. So we're hoping that this raffle does really helps the athletics or the MASBA, the Boosters Association. And then our golf tournament is kind of running simultaneously, so it's been a really busy time of year. May 2nd, it's always the first Sunday in May, and there's an opportunity to be a sponsor for this tournament. We have 30 foursomes that fill up pretty much every year. It's really hard to get into those into this actual tournament as a player, but we raise the most money from this tournament through our sponsorship from local businesses, and this year even families. So there's 4 levels of sponsorship from a family standpoint. There's a family sponsor for $25, which gets the family name or the name of your choice printed in the program. A $50 sponsor for a whole sponsor where the name of your choice, your business name, your family name is on one of the tees. And then a $100 double sponsor where you get 2 sponsorship names at 2 different tees. And then the super sponsor where you get the 2 tees, name on the 2 tees, and name on the large banner at the registration table with all of the super sponsors, and that's a $200 sponsorship. So all different levels of sponsorship for the tournament. It's really just a matter of sending a check to the athletic department, made out to MASBA for the level of sponsorship that you want. And that email has already gone out and will be in the newsletter as well, with ways that you can support the athletic program or support the All Sports Boosters Association through sponsorship of the golf tournament. And then Mucky's Liquors Redemption. Make sure that if you're turning in those balls and cans, it's going to Mucky's, because they do donate that back to Middleborough All Sports Boosters, and we receive a check from them on a monthly basis, which is a huge, very generous donation from Mucky's each month. So if you're not already doing that, if you're not already redeeming your cans at Mucky's, please think about doing that. In the Middleborough Ice Hockey Group, we have our officers there: President Gary McNaughton, Vice President Kia Steinman, Treasurer Sean Mokler, Secretary Melissa Larson, and Informations Officer Mike Plosky. They do a great job with their website on middleboroughhockey.com, so please visit there. If you need any information about the Middleborough Ice Hockey Group, they supplement the budget for the ice hockey team, specifically the ice time and the huge expense that is, and run a number of fundraisers over the year. And similar to MASBA, have not been able to do as many of those fundraising efforts due to the pandemic. So they do have their golf tournament coming up in the fall. It's October 2nd, Southers Marsh, and you can register at middleboroughhockey.com or reach out to their officers there on their website for other ways to support their group. That's really it. It's just a quick parent meeting here tonight. Reach out with any questions or concerns. Stay safe, stay active. Visit the website. Make sure you check out the newsletter that's coming out this week for April and Spring Sports Edition. There's a ton of information in there. And really, if you just search for that information, you should be able to find what you need in most cases, or reach out to me or the coach. Many times the coaches have individuals' team information that's coming directly from them, and they can be the best ones to answer those questions. So thanks for tuning in, and feel free to reach out anytime. Looking forward to the spring season and this new facility. It's an exciting time. It's a busy time, but it's a very exciting time, and can't wait to get out there on those baseball, softball fields and on that turf field and see everyone in action this spring. All right. Thank you.